All right, let's dive into one of the greatest stories ever told. It's a truly timeless epic about betrayal, absolute despair, and a slow, patient, all-consuming quest for revenge.
And this one question, right here, is really the engine that drives the entire story. It asks, can someone who's had everything taken from them actually reclaim their life? Not just by getting out of jail, but through a cold, calculated plan for justice.
So our story kicks off with a young man named Edmond Dantès. He's a pretty simple, honest sailor, has a super bright future ahead of him, and he has absolutely no idea that his entire life is about to be systematically destroyed by the jealousy of the people he trusts the most.
I mean, Edmond's life is basically perfect. He just got a huge promotion to ship captain, jumping right over his colleague, a guy named Red, and he's about to marry the love of his life, a woman named Mercedes. But all this good fortune, well, it plants a nasty seed of envy. His so-called friend Fernand wants Mercedes for himself, and he starts to conspire to just tear Edmond's perfect world to shreds.
And the whole conspiracy gets started with what seems like a totally innocent mistake. Edmond's trying to get medical help for his dying captain, and in the process, he meets the exiled emperor, Napoleon. Napoleon is impressed by this young sailor and asks him to deliver a letter. Now, this is a time of huge political turmoil, and any connection to Napoleon is basically treason. But Edmond, being honest and, well, a little naive, he agrees. He has no idea he is now holding the very weapon that will be used to destroy him.
And this isn't just one simple betrayal. Oh no. This is a conspiracy with three key players. You've got the jealous Fernand and the bitter Red, who report Edmond to the authorities. So he gets dragged in front of a magistrate, a guy named Villefort, who at first actually sees that Edmond is innocent. But the second Villefort reads who the letter is for, his own father, a known supporter of Napoleon, he makes a choice. To protect his own career, he burns the letter, the one piece of evidence that could prove Edmond's innocence, and sentences him to a living hell.
And just like that, the darkest chapter begins. Edmond is shipped off to the Chateau d'If, an island fortress prison that no one has ever escaped from. This is where the innocent sailor is supposed to be forgotten and left to die.
Can you even imagine hearing these words? The warden himself tells him, "Oh yeah, we know you were framed. We only put innocent people here." It's just this incredible psychological torture, confirming that he's nothing but a pawn in a game he never even knew he was playing. It completely crushes any hope he had left.
The years just bleed into one another. The only way he can even mark time is by the annual beating the warden gives him. After 12 incredibly long years of total solitude, he loses all faith. He's right on the edge of taking his own life. But then, just when he's hit absolute rock bottom, something impossible happens. He hears a sound. The floor of his cell starts to move.
13 years. Just let that number hang in the air for a second. An entire lifetime of love, family, and freedom just stolen. That's the debt his enemies are going to have to pay.
And that sound coming from his cell floor, it's the sound of hope. The man tunneling through is an old prisoner, a brilliant priest and scholar, and he's about to become the catalyst for Edmond's complete transformation.
This old man becomes so much more than just a fellow inmate. He becomes Edmond's teacher, and really the father figure he lost. For years, as they secretly dig their tunnel to freedom, he turns this illiterate sailor into a genius, teaching him everything from science and economics to languages and even how to sword fight.
But of course, tragedy strikes. The escape tunnel collapses, and the old man is fatally wounded. As he's lying there, dying, he gives Edmond his final, greatest secret, a map that leads to the legendary, unimaginable treasure of Spada, a fortune beyond anyone's wildest dreams. And those are his mentor's final words. It's a promise that Edmond makes, a promise that's going to become the moral compass for the incredible power he's about to get his hands on. It's not just about revenge anymore. It's about a higher purpose.
So with his mentor gone, Edmond comes up with this absolutely wild plan. He puts the old man's body in his own bed and then hides himself inside the burial sack. The guards, not having a clue, just throw the sack into the raging sea below. As he cuts himself free underwater, Edmond grabs the cruel warden, yanks him into the depths, and in his very first act of vengeance, drowns him. He is finally free.
So he's a free man, but he is not the same man. Armed with brilliant knowledge and a treasure map, Edmond Dantès goes to claim the fortune that will give him the power to execute his plan.
After he finds the treasure, Edmond Dantès basically dies, and in his place rises the Count of Monte Cristo. The transformation is absolute. The naive sailor is now a cunning strategist. The powerless prisoner is one of the wealthiest men in the entire world. He's no longer the victim. He is the master of vengeance.
With this new identity and basically limitless resources, he has one and only one goal. This single driving purpose is going to guide his every move from here on out. The game is about to begin.
So, years later, this mysterious nobleman, the Count of Monte Cristo, makes a spectacular entrance into Parisian high society. He's charming, impossibly rich, completely captivating, and he uses this persona to patiently and methodically draw the three men who ruined his life right into his web.
He's got 3 targets on his list. Red, the guy who was jealous of his promotion. Villefort, the corrupt magistrate who threw him in that cell. And finally, Fernand, the man he once called his friend, who stole the woman they both loved.
And the Count's revenge is a masterclass in psychological warfare. He doesn't just kill them, he dismantles their entire lives using their own fatal flaws against them. He uses Red's greed, luring him in with a fake treasure ship, which gets him arrested. He plays on Villefort's pride and reputation, tricking him into a full confession while the police are secretly listening. And he just systematically ruins Fernand's finances and good name, leaving him with absolutely nothing before their final showdown.
All of this builds to one final dramatic climax, where every single secret is exposed and the ultimate price of betrayal is paid in full.
And right in the middle of all this chaos, Mercedes reveals the biggest secret of the entire story. Her son, the boy she raised with Fernand, isn't Fernand's child at all. He is Edmond's son, conceived right before he was arrested. This changes everything. Edmond isn't just an angel of vengeance anymore. He's a father.
Cornered, totally ruined, a desperate Fernand makes one last cowardly move. He aims his pistol not at Edmond, but at Mercedes. In the fight that follows, Edmond finally faces the man who was once his friend, and with one final thrust of his sword, he ends his treacherous life.
And so, we come back to that first question. After getting the perfect revenge, can a man really find peace? And the answer is yeah, he can. Reunited with his son and Mercedes, Edmond buys the very prison that once held him. He frees the prisoners, tears down the fortress walls, and dedicates his immense fortune to doing good, finally fulfilling that promise he made to his mentor all those years ago. He started his journey seeking justice, but in the end, what he found was redemption.